A woman has accidentally discovered. There's been a lot of fresh expensive fruit in the house lately. Expensive fruits. Her daughter told her. They were delivered by a young and beautiful aunt. Just when the woman was about to ask again, her husband pushed open the door and came in. He urged his daughter to go home and rest. At first the woman didn't care. But when she woke up in the morning, she realized that her husband, who was usually lazy, now he's working overtime at the office. Once the seed of doubt is planted, it takes root. When her husband came home from work in the evening, she passes by the woman. She smelled a perfume that didn't belong to her. But she didn't care. She thought it was a pregnancy reaction. In order to capture her husband's heart, she puts on a special color of lipstick. She came to her husband's room, but when she undid his collar, she was shocked to find there was a strawberry mark on his neck. The woman immediately asked her husband what was wrong. Her husband explained that he had been walking on his cell phone and had been scratched by a tree branch. It reminded her of the daytime, when she went grocery shopping. A neighbor told her. She saw her husband with a scantily clad woman this morning, hugging and cuddling, getting into a luxury car. The women thought they were mistaken. She didn't care. Until she found a lipstick and a small umbrella. Under her husband's pillow she found a lipstick and a small umbrella. The lipstick wasn't even her usual model. And the umbrella she and her husband hadn't used since they got pregnant. She and her husband hadn't used them since they were pregnant. And they were in her husband's room. There's only one explanation. Her husband was having an affair. In order to find out what's going on, she had to find her daughter. Ask her about the aunt she told her about yesterday. Who she was. But her daughter said she was just making it up. To get her to tell the truth, she had to threaten her with her cosmetics. If she didn't tell her, she'd throw away all the cosmetics on the table. Only then did her daughter tell the truth. It turns out that the woman had been seeing her husband since she was pregnant. She had been seeing her husband since she was pregnant. She used to pick him up from work. The woman found out the woman's name through the flower ordering phone. So she started to ask her husband for a new secretary. The husband heard a text message on his cell phone. When he saw it was from his secretary, he panicked and said that his cell phone was out of battery. He wanted to charge it, but the woman took his hand. She said she would help him to charge it. At that moment the secretary called the man. But when the woman answered the phone, the husband grabbed her cell phone and hung up. In response to his wife's inquiries, the husband lied that he was off duty, not to talk about work. Then he left in a hurry. But the woman didn't believe him. She took her husband's cell phone in the middle of the night while he was asleep. She wanted to see what's going on between her husband and his secretary. But when she opened the chat logs, she found that her husband had deleted them. The more she saw it, the more she realized there was something going on between them. Then, she installed GPS on her husband's cell phone. Sure enough, in the wee hours of the morning, the woman saw her husband getting into a luxury car. She couldn't stand it any longer. She called her best friend. And went to look for the man. The girlfriend was the first to notice. The scumbag was walking with the woman, coming out of the hotel. The three of them immediately took a broom. They went after him. But just when they were about to catch up, the car started. They missed their chance. When they didn't know what to do, the security guard suddenly approached them. Said he had information about the man, but he needed to be paid to tell them. The girlfriends gave him the money from their bags. The security guard saw this. He gave the woman the video he'd captured. But in the second half of the video, there's no more footage. The guard explained. He didn't capture the room he entered. The woman told him to keep her on the lookout for the rest of the day. When they come in, tell her which room they're in. The guard didn't agree. But when she saw the wad of money the woman handed him, she said yes, promised not to let her down.